Good morning, one and all. The day is Friday, the time is 5:30. I had to get up super early to film this video. I didn't film it last night. In case you don't know, I usually film the night before. I'm filming this morning. Someone like legit got killed in front of my apartment last night and I had to call the cops. That's not a joke, that's like serious. So I was up pretty late last night and I just figured I'd wake up super early, film the video, get it edited, and then go about my day. Books. Talking about books again. I know, if you don't like this type of content, I'm sorry. There's something new coming on Monday, but I gotta talk about a couple of books I've been reading this week. It's taken me over a week to get through the Fire book. Not because I can't read, but because I love, or the Book of Fire rather. Or is it the Fire book? It's the Fire book. I'm not that stupid, okay? No, seriously, it's taken me like a full week to go through the Fire book because it's so in depth, and there's a lot to unpack. And even the author Musashi is like, take some time and study this. Take some time and study this. I've been looking at some of the stuff that he's been asking me to study. It's pretty neat. The next, of course, is the Wind book. Excited to get into that. And then it's the Void, or the Book of the Void. And then I'm done. Once again, highly recommend this if you're into strategy or fighting or anything like that. Really good book to get into. Lot to unpack in here. If you're looking for like a lot of detail, you'll usually get it, unless it's talking about a concept of like just something you're gonna have to learn when you do it. That's probably why I connect with this book so much, is because the author is just like, you need to do this to understand it. A lot of books, a lot of like manuals or anything like that, or like books for life, talk about all these like things, and they try to list exactly how to do them. This guy, 1645, I believe, back then he was just like, nah, you have to do it. Like, here's the bare minimum for you to understand, but in order for you to really understand, you actually have to go out and do it. A lot of life coaches out there will tell you the exact same thing. The good ones will tell you the exact same thing. They won't just sell you a step-by-step process. That's not how life works. There is no step-by-step. Life is not baking a cake. Life is more of a dance that you figure out as you go along. You can write that down. You can get that tattooed on you. Don't get anything I say tattooed on you. I'm gonna rate that book 8 out of 10. Next, we're moving on to the audiobook. And yeah, I'm a Samsung guy, an Android guy. I'm a pretty cool guy. I'm a swell guy.
I go through my day pretty normal like. I'm a normal guy. I'm a swell guy. I'm a nice enough guy. I'm a cool kind of guy.
Temple of the Golden Pavilion. I'm about halfway through that now. Been doing a lot of fishing lately. While I fish, audiobooks are like my go-to. Really relaxes you while you're fishing. I used to get pretty bored. Even listening to music while fishing, I would get bored. Listening to books, so good. If you're looking for a book where a man is leaving his adolescence, his childhood behind, without a father in his life, and he's got to figure everything out on his own, nothing really goes according to plan. Pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting book. I don't know if everything doesn't go to plan. I don't know if that's a good way to say it. It's not going how he thought it would. And once again, life isn't baking a cake. And in this, it's very much so not that either. There's a lot of talk about the Second World War. I won't get into exactly why it is talking about the Second World War, because a little bit of that is, in my opinion, spoilers. Go into that book completely blind. Once again, from another Japanese author, Mishima. Yukio Mishima. The way this guy writes, everything that he's writing, you can see. He writes a lot of descriptive words, and it's not like Johnny's first book, where it's like, and the crimson red bricks laid side by side in the dusty brown. Like, it's not that. It's like actually like what he's describing, he probably needs to describe, because I don't know what temples look like in Japan. I'm happy that he's going through all of this stuff. I've never been to Japan. A lot of the stuff that he's talking about, I've only ever seen in pictures, or I just haven't seen it all. So when he's describing it, the way he's describing it, I feel like if I went there, I could see myself around the places that he's talking about because of how well he's describing everything that he's seeing. Interesting book. Very interesting book. He just met up with one of his friends. Not just, they've been together for a while. His like only friend. And that's a very interesting dynamic that they have. Honestly, if you're a man, just read this book. I don't know if it would translate as well to women. Of course, not a woman, so I don't know. If you're a woman, read this book and see if it translates well to you, if it holds your attention. If it doesn't, come back here and tell me I'm right. I need that validation. And I'm giving that one 7 out of 10 so far. But I think stuff's about to get real, so that might go up. Last book. I want to thank my sister for introducing me to this book. Y'all like dinosaurs? Y'all like computer science? How about genetic engineering? Then the book Jurassic Park is for you. I love the movie. It might be my favorite movie in the entire world. I grew up on the entirety of the Jurassic Park series, and they pretty much all suck except for number 1. And that's fine. I love all of them still, you know, even Jurassic World, that's pretty much a train wreck. But I still love it, so I can't fault it too much. I think you're noticing a theme with me and giant reptilian-like animals. I've always loved dinosaurs, especially as a kid. I think most kids are like, whoa, dinosaurs, you know? I kind of held that into adulthood. Any paleontologists out there, if you want to let me come and screw around at a dig site, hit me up. Live in Oklahoma. I think there's some dig sites around here. So, yeah, hit me up. I'll be there. Stuff is cool. I'd like to learn how to actually dig them out of the ground. How to actually dig fossils out of the ground. That'd be very neat. Because this book, Jurassic Park, the book, I have been told for years that it is better than the movie. I did not believe them. Because I don't like reading. I'm reading it on Audible right now, having someone else read it to me, rather. That is better than the movie. By far. By far. I got it on a whim when my sister was talking about, because she just finished reading the book, she was talking about how good it was. I was like, there's no way it is as good as she's talking about. I cannot stress enough how good this book is. If you're going into it with Jurassic Park 1 goggles on, you might be a little disappointed. I went into it as like a new experience because I had heard that the characters are not the same, and they are not. Virtually none of the characters are like they are in the movie. Seriously. Dr. Grant is a guy who really likes kids. That's not a thing in the movie. He hates kids in the movie. Has a bit of a belly on him, has got a full beard. Sam Neill doesn't have a beard in that movie. He's freaking clean shaven. Wears Hawaiian shirts around. He's also like in his mid-40s. Ellie Sattler is young. She's in her 20s, if not, I think she's in her early 20s. There's no confusing kind of romantic interest. I felt like there was a romantic interest in the movie. And like in the movie, they were very similar ages. So, okay. In this, he's old enough to be her dad, so there's no romantic interest. So just to get that out of the way real quick, they are co-workers. They're scientists, just together. And I'm like, that's great. Love that. De Niro is not a sniveling weasel of a lawyer in this. He's built. He goes to the gym. He's a handsome man. And he's honestly, you get a lot more backstory in everyone. Of course you would, because it's a book, you know. He's not trying to make it a 2-hour runtime. He's trying to just get his ideas out on paper. Crichton. Michael Crichton, by the way. Richard Hammond is a bit more infantile in his initial appearance, and a bit more sinister behind the scenes. And I very much so appreciate that. The kids are age swapped. Tim is the older one, Lex is the younger one. By the way, you will hate Lex. I have just barely been introduced to her, and I cannot stand Lex. If there were anything wrong with the book, I would say it's that. If you have not already read Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, you need to get on that. Read that stupid book. It's so good. There's a lot of talk about genetics and a lot of talk about computers. If any of that bores you,
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
my sister told me that there was only one part that she skimmed, and she doesn't really have an interest in computers or genetics or anything like that. So there's only one page that she actually even skimmed. Grabs your attention and friggin' puts it in a headlock and just forces you to keep reading. It's so good. Very good. I'm giving that one a 9 out of 10 strictly because of Lex. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Really enjoyed having you here. Stick around a little while longer. I'll make you some breakfast. We can chill out, maybe watch some Netflix. I got a lot of eggs. If you want an omelet, I'll make you some of that. Coffee's there as well. Just remember to always take the stairs. Keep that thing on you. And if you get tired, please pull over, grab a hotel, maybe have a nap, whatever it's going to take to get you to your destination safely, even if that means pushing your initial ETA back by a couple of hours. That's totally fine, as long as you're safe. I have been Marcus Dell'Olio. You have been the audience. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.